Hey YouTube world, this is T-Bone, just kind of checking in and giving you an update on what's going on in my life. So, yeah, if you noticed from last time, I gave a quick vlog, and I'm going to give another one of those because right now I've just been very, very busy in terms of, personal stuff going on, which I'm going to talk about today. So, I decided about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago I was going to work at a college. I went to a college in the area and I did some interviews and I passed the interviews and they offered me a contract. And I was like, hooray, nice. Then I did some other interviews for some other colleges just because I wanted to explore my options and, see what I could do and maybe I could do better. And so I found a university that was in northern China that's one of the top schools in the country, and so I was like, wow, that's a really great position. But the problem with the position is that it is so far away, and I'd be so far away from my girlfriend that I wouldn't possibly be able to see her. So I ultimately decided, hey, it would be best to stay within the local area for the both of us. And I'll work at this college. Everything seemed good. I'd work 12 hours a week for the college, and then with the extra time I'd be working at training centers and be able to make more money for working less hours in a week. But here's where everything goes wrong. And the title of the video is, "It's not over until it's signed and stamped." So I sent my contract to the school. And during the time when I was looking at and interviewing with other schools, I said I would email them the following week. So I did, and I emailed them with the signed contract. But lo and behold, when they replied to me, they said, oh yeah, that job position that you wanted is no longer there. So during that time that I was shopping around for other colleges, the school and the recruiter that I was going through were also shopping around for other people. So despite the fact that I gave them a deadline, they kind of disregarded the deadline that I gave to them. And when I say kind of, it means they completely did. They found, I guess, 2 other teachers to fill the position, and lo and behold, I lost a job for, I don't know. And that's the confusing part. And when I said this to one of the higher ups at my school right now, they said, well, first, don't trust any recruiters. I think that's kind of true. There's good recruiters, there's bad recruiters, and I guess the person I went through wasn't the best recruiter. He just kind of was looking more or less to fill the spots and make some money, which is understandable because that's his job, but it's just kind of crappy when you say, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to give them a deadline, but then it's just kind of disregarded. So, yeah, it left me just kind of speechless, and what one of the higher ups said also was, it's not over until it's signed and stamped. Your school, when you're in China, has to stamp the papers and give you their official seal on the document saying, hey, we want you to work for us and this contract is official. And that's generally the most secure way you've actually got the job, because if you send them a contract with your signature, it doesn't mean anything unless they sign and stamp it, seal it, and send it back to you. So I thought I had the job, and I guess I didn't. And because of that, I'm just very, very, a bit disappointed. I'm like, man, this fucking sucks. I worked really hard, went through the interviews, and the position I offered just was kind of given to someone else, even though I said I was interested in the position and I gave them a deadline. And so, I mean, this is not the first time it's ever happened, too. Another coworker of mine was saying, yeah, this has happened to me before, and even worse was that he actually had a sealed contract, signed, sealed, everything, contract, and then they canceled the contract on him, which is really, really crappy. And that just kind of goes to show that things can kind of change and shift here very, very, very quickly in China. And because of that, you kind of have to stay on your toes and know the schools you're working for and know what you're getting into. The guy who was talking about his school was talking about, a school that wasn't maybe the best and kind of maybe screwed him over. So, those schools do exist out there as well. So my advice is, obviously, know the recruiter, ask someone who might know the recruiter that you're going through to make sure you're not going to get, screwed over. And then the same thing applies to asking about a school. Make sure you know the school you're going to, and the school is reputable. I remember when I was with my cousin Leo, we were inside of the Chinese consulate in Chicago, and we met this guy who was going to also teach in China, and the guy was like a little sketchy looking, maybe very naive, and he was like, oh yeah man, I got this really great job, but they weren't providing him with any visa paperwork, and they were just like, oh yeah, just fly on over to China and everything will be okay, come on a tourist visa, which is illegal for one, and two, it's very, very risky because you're putting your life in the hands of another school that you don't even know. The guy didn't know the school prior, and he was pretty confident that his job was a good job, but based upon nothing. And that's that kind of thing you have to consider when coming to another country when looking for a job. You got to know if the school has a good reputation, if it has a bad reputation, because there are people out there in smaller cities and smaller schools, or even in big cities too, that are just kind of slimy, that'll do whatever they can to like make a few bucks, save some money, cut corners, so that way they can have a teacher, but it can blow up ultimately in your face because you're the one that would be deported if the police catch on or some sort of authority catches on. So yeah, when coming to China, do your research. Make sure you know the place you're going to work at, make sure you know the recruiters you're going for, and if you can, if at all possible, have a friend or someone you know help you get the job. I've done that before, and it's helped out a lot because yeah, it made my life a lot easier in terms of getting a job, but I also was able to have a friend and a connection while doing so. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope that you really like this video. It's just a quick vlog. Give it a like if you liked it, give it a dislike if you disliked it, and share if you think anyone you know could benefit from this information. So that's all for now. See ya.